episode of Open Homes. A home with amazing history. A home packed full of features. This stunning home on Phillip Island. And to end the show, an absolute showstopper. This contemporary country house will knock your socks off.
I can see why you've fallen in love with this location.
Come with us as we step inside. First up, this incredible restoration in Brisbane. I love a home that bends the rules, and this architecturally designed church conversion in Brisbane's Coorparoo artfully blends the old and the new for the most refreshing outcome. This is so interesting. The facade's like a little bit industrial, a little bit cottagey.
The way it's been set up, it's rotated on the block so that if we can't actually see the old building, this is a really old church that I brought down, and it's an eclectic mix of everything original and old, and then two new villas that are front and back and joined with a lot of different little bits and pieces that you'll see.
I'm very interested. Let's have a look.
Okay.
This is such a beautiful entrance.
Yeah, made the connection between the new and the old with the pressed metal, and tried to get a tile that kind of brought in all the colours of the garden, the black, the blue, you know. I think I succeeded.
You definitely did.
And all these windows are original from the original church.
Love that.
Redone exactly as they were.
Yes,
right?
And they're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love the juxtaposition too between like that really sort of classical blue and then, you know, as you say, the charcoal pressed metal, but even the sort of more, I guess, contemporary architectural design of that front building.
Yeah.
It all just sort of melds together in a really interesting way.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you like it because there's a lot of thought went into it.
Okay.
The architect had a lot of good ideas, and we threw them around the table and came up with the best one.
What was your brief to him?
Well, firstly, you've got to keep the originality of the church building and everything that's inside, and then add all the nice features that you're comfortable in a home, but with a bit of a twist.
Oh, wow. And look at that ceiling height.
Yeah, it's over 6 metres.
Window.
And that's the window at the back, which is actually a picture of the church in position.
Wow.
Up in Nanango.
The whole space is just so unique, like everything from the layout to the materials used. I actually can't imagine what's involved in relocating a church.
Well, as you can imagine, that whole back section was all closed in, and we took all that away, the arch, and put all the glass in there.
So tell me about the process, because I can't imagine the obstacles you must face in relocating a church.
Yeah, well, the building itself, so the roof is 45 degrees, so I had to make up a special steel frame, remove the roof, put it on its own frame and transported that separate to the building. And then it brought it onto this block and then dropped the roof on, plonk, bolted it all up in position.
And how long did you spend looking for the ideal church?
About 12 months. Yeah, every time I go online and try to find something I thought was going to work, something would go and it would just disappear and people would buy it quickly, you know. So it took me all that time and the timing was just perfect in the end.
But it is a really interesting layout. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms in total?
At the moment, it's set up with 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. But the spaces that are available to people, they could actually make it a 7-bedroom facility.
I particularly love this master bedroom loft space that sits above the common area.
Yeah, if you go back into the dining room, it looks like it floats in the middle of the space.
Well, it's actually even more impressive from out here, if that's possible.
Oh, it is, and even better of a night time. You should see it every night time with all the beams lit up. And even the neighbours said, geez, that looks good of a night.
Oh,
you know?
Beautiful.
Which is good. It's been a good response from the neighbours.
Yeah. So what's your interest in relocating churches?
Yeah, well, the interest was simply based on when my wife and I looked for little jobs to do years ago. We said, why don't we convert a church? Right? She passed away back 6 years ago, and I thought, well, I'll still continue that thing and get it done. And we found the church. It's an old Salvation Army, and it was fantastic. The Salvos were so interested in what we were doing.
Yeah, I bet.
And they sent one of their guys out here to meet with me to talk about the uniqueness of this building. And he actually amazed at some of the colours that we used in the glass. He said, there are actual colours.
Very cool. It's just so refreshing to see something different.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can be scared and make a lot of very safe choices when designing a home.
Yeah.
So this is a very refreshing departure. Up next, a home packed full of features. Next up, we're in Melbourne.
Well, George, what an incredible looking home. It's so exciting to see a contemporary build that actually has some brickwork and finally some eaves.
Yeah, mate, I cannot wait to show you through this home. This is something truly special. The amount of detail that is throughout the home, I don't think we'll get it all in one episode. So this whole project has been a really evolving process for us and our client. And, you know, it really starts from the outside. The bricks have been imported from Spain, really unique to the home, and also the actual design of how we've got the top two-tone render as well has changed throughout that whole process. So really unique to the house and also to the area.
Well, even just looking at the detail on this door here, I can't wait to see what the rest of the home looks like.
That's one of many things that took about 14 weeks to get installed, but yeah, definitely an amazing detail as you're coming in through the home first up.
Geez, I tell you what, the home makes a grand entrance down that central hallway. I love that timber wall paneling.
Absolutely. As soon as you walk in, you're just really pulled through the home. You're invited to walk through and see every little detail throughout the house. And that it all starts with that timber paneling on the wall. And then you've got that beautiful shelving with your glass background there. And then just up into an atrium with a beautiful feature stair. So it's just amazing.
That open staircase is like absolutely stunning. The craftsmanship and attention to detail is like something I've never seen before.
Absolutely, and it was a type of item that needed to be built in stages too, because we couldn't just put everything in one go during construction. So we had to come in, do your steel stringers first, then put a temporary access for your timber, and then really all the treads were one of the very last things we installed and finished in the home. So a lot of effort and a lot of detail went into that stair.
You often hear people talk about a courtyard house. Well, I think we could call this the pool house because it is literally built around that massive pool.
Yeah, look, that's the beauty about this home. You walk into each room and there's just a different feature that catches your eye. And in this instance, as soon as you walk in this lounge room, you go straight to the pool.
George, without a doubt, this could be the most impressive pool I've seen in a home in Melbourne.
Mate, it's such a key feature of the home, and it probably went through about 15 design changes, I think, throughout the whole construction process. But we're really fortunate to work with Laguna Pools on this job, and they really helped us through that whole process, giving lots of different designs and feedback on how to make this pool work in this space. So again, the tiles imported from Italy with about a 10-week lead time on those, and the wet edge around the whole swimming pool and to the spa, it just creates a fantastic detail.
How difficult was it to actually construct this pool?
It looks easy when it's in place, but a lot of work went into this swimming pool because it's hard up against the basement. It actually follows the line of the basement. So when we did it, there was a lot of associated formwork that we had to do to keep the pool into shape. and then also to make sure it didn't impede on the structure of the home, because you've got a lot of force coming down on your swimming pool and we don't want that affecting the house in any way, especially the basement. So it was a difficult build, but we did have the right people involved in it to get it done.
And I heard you say the word basement.
Absolutely. As good as this space is, we do have one more area that is probably my favourite space of the home.
So I can't wait to see that.
Absolutely.
I'm blown away, George, with the level of detail that you've gone to here in the basement. A lot of people would spare expenses here and try to cut on costs, but it looks like you've done the opposite to that.
The thing about our owner is they love to entertain and they want to have their family and friends here to share the space with them and to enjoy their company. And I think a place like this is really important to them, and to have this area to do so. You've got your beautiful bar behind you, you've got all the tiles on the walls which just look fantastic, polished concrete floors, you've got hydronic heating. So you could really just come here and stay here for the whole day, which is fantastic. And I think that was their real key focus with this home. They wanted a beautiful, livable home.
Well, George, I come from a construction background, now I work in real estate. I see luxury homes all the time. This could be one of the best homes I've ever seen.
Mate, I love the compliments, and I couldn't agree with you more. This sort of home is the reason why I'm in construction, and the owners are the reason why I continue to build. So it's a joy to work on. They're challenging projects, but without challenge, you never grow. And that's why I love delivering projects of this nature, and the end satisfaction of our client is just worth more than gold.
Next up, we're in Victoria.
Phillip Island has become a hotspot for people wanting to make a sea change. Here in Cape Woolamai, it offers some of the best views the island has to offer, like the one just behind me. Beautiful home you've got here. What can we expect today?
Oh, thanks, mate. Well, this is a bit of a, I suppose, coastal resort theme that the clients are after here. They were sort of looking at moving over here to retire in years to come. So it was sort of set up the zone downstairs for their kids to come and stay, and yet they can stay upstairs and make the most of this beautiful view.
And I'm loving this facade. This is what, a pre-finished product?
Pre-finished. This is actually Bondor or Lux Wall. Our draftsman, Sean's really started working this into a lot of our designs now. Because it is such a great, easy, versatile product, and it's very well insulated for the new homes.
What's the benefit, I guess, of using the Bondor product as opposed to maybe doing a render or even like a brick veneer?
Compared to render, like once it's installed, it's finished. So it becomes a free finished product. There's no rendering, there's no painting. So once it's installed, it's done, and it's colour bond. So yeah, it's maintenance free.
You weren't kidding when you said you had some incredible views from up here. That view over Phillip Island Bridge is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, no, it is great. And also from the front balcony as well, you've got beautiful views out over the ocean too. It makes the most of this block, yes.
You can see the owners had some design input because they've given themselves the best view in the house.
Yeah, exactly. The master bedroom does have the best view, especially in the morning, so that east sunrise comes up over the bay, looking straight over. It's fantastic. And even you walk through into your walk-in robe, you've got that beautiful view again, because we've done that picture frame window at the end of it, and then into the ensuite, you've even got a view from your shower.
Well, I imagine you're pretty exposed up here on the second level, getting the big storms that blow in off the Tasman. Was that the thought behind having the two balconies?
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So if you've got it coming from the north, you can sit out on the front. If it's coming from the east, you can sit out the back. It works out well.
Well, whose idea was it to have this raised ceiling here? Because that with the oversized windows is beautiful.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of a brief by the clients that wanted that, I suppose, a bit of that luxe feel with the big windows out to the north. So yeah, just to break it up and give it some bit of contrast so it's just not one big flat dead ceiling.
Everything about this home seems very calming, like from the floors, the stone, the tiled splashback. Was that your design?
No, this was all Andrea's colours choices, and yeah, we helped just bring it all to reality, really.
Lee, I actually used to be a tiler, so I love when I come to new homes and see that tiled splashbacks are making a comeback.
They are making a big comeback. More and more people are leading away from glass and back to the tiles. And, you know, the subway tiles laid vertically, just something to break it up, something a bit different.
And beautiful island bench, plenty of room for the kids to sit down.
Plenty of room, exactly right. So as this house was built for that resort style, you're up here, obviously in the main living area here, looking out. So from the kitchen, there's not a window that you haven't got a view.
Well, I love the design because you've got the 2 bedrooms downstairs for the children. They've got their own living room and obviously a home office. But then this whole first floor is designed for the owners. Just the one master bedroom up here, they can live on a single level. Like, it's a genius design.
Yeah, once you're up here, you don't have to go downstairs. Like bathroom, toilet, everything's upstairs.
A home this size, double story, how long did it actually take you to complete the build?
So this build from go to woe took us 12 months.
Yeah.
Obviously with COVID, it sort of slowed us down a little bit, but yeah, we got it done as quickly as we could and had them in for Christmas.
Well, I think that's still pretty good going considering it's a double-storey block. You are on an island here as well, and with COVID, so you should be really proud of that achievement.
Thank you.
Now we can finally reveal this amazing home in New South Wales.
Brian and Matt, I've got to say, it's such an impressive place to arrive at. I've come down that beautiful driveway of yours. I can see why you've fallen in love with this location, but why did you decide to call this home?
Well, I think we just really like the location. You know, you have beautiful views out across not only the rest of our property, but over the rolling hills, and you've got 2 or 3 layers of different hills in the background. You can't see them so much today because it's a bit rainy, but it's just a beautiful outlook, and it's just quiet and peaceful and tranquil, and there's just beautiful views in every direction.
How big is the allotment of land?
So we have about 104 acres that sort of runs in an L shape from the highway. But yeah, because we wanted to be away from the main road, we sort of built about a 1.3 kilometre driveway to kind of get up here, which, you know, was a mammoth effort of excavation, but I think it was well worth it in the end.
Initially, you're talking about aspect, so we were trying to turn our back on the south, get the view this way, get the light coming into the bedrooms in the morning, warm it up, and then north, bring the sun in. So it was kind of, yeah, based all around view, and the roadway too, we wanted to keep away from the road. We designed a house in country Victoria that was quite popular online. The clients had a look at that. They thought we were the right people for the job, and luckily they came to us. It's the 700 house, and it's a galvanised steel house, so they seem to like the farm look.
He likes to do the sort of modern farmhouse style. And, you know, that was a house, he'd won a significant award for it, and so it was getting a bit of attention. And we just really liked elements of his style. And so that's kind of what we drew the inspiration from.
Outside, we've got this great use of texture. We've got the line in the cladding and the beautiful texture in the brickwork, but it's quite dark and edgy. Inside, it's the complete opposite. Tell me about what you've done in here.
It pretty much all centred around this blue kitchen. So I think Matt in particular had a pretty clear sense of what he wanted the kitchen to look like as an avid chef wannabe. And so for our interior designer, Amy, I think that kind of was a starting point, and then she was able to sort of pick up that colour and sort of, you know, have touches of around the house, but, you know, the rest of it's quite white.
Now, tell us about the actual layout. We've got a hallway going up that way and down there, so tell us about where we are on the floor plan.
We had an idea that we wanted to have 3 different zones, if you like. So we wanted to have, you know, the living zone, a central living zone, and so that's where we are now. And then we've got the sort of our wing of the house, and then we've got a guest wing of the house. So we've kind of got those 2 zones, and then they both come into the central living zone.
Well, guys, I've got to say, this is a fantastic entertaining space. The size of the deck going that way and that way, you've essentially doubled the floor plan of the house.
It was really important to us to have an outdoor space where we can have our neighbours over, we can have friends up, and just entertain. Like, as we said before, you know, it's all about wine and eating, and, you know, we've got the fireplace, the barbecue, the pizza oven, so, you know, it's what it's about.
We're very happy with the finished product, and it's warm, it's comfortable, and it suits how we want to live.
Thanks for watching. We hope you found some inspiration looking through these incredible homes and gardens. We certainly have. For more on the homes and behind the scenes, check out our Instagram and Facebook. See you next time for more Open Homes.